Hey, what is going on, everyone? This is JaeS podcast out of 30, and we're back with my boy here, Travis.
What up?
It's been a minute. Last time we did this was summer, I believe, of 2018. So it's been about 6 months. It's been a while, but yeah, we here. Oh shit. So fuck, man. It's been busy for the both of us. My boy here has been working. He's been grinding, and then I've had some school and football going on. So now that spring break for me and all that, we're just ready to rock one out here and get this podcast, going. So fucking, I don't even know what to talk about. What's that one dude's name?
For what?
The Vikings third stringer. Let's talk about him.
Oh, the running Rock Thomas.
Rock Thomas.
So basically, Rock Thomas, who's a Viking player, he's a running back, was just found. I think he was in January. Drugs in his house. He was found with 143 grams of marijuana. So now he's facing felony charges. I don't see the seriousness of it, but.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like, it's one of those topics, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't think weed's that big of a deal. But with the NFL and with fucking the government, it's how it is. But I didn't even know who Rock Thomas was until you mentioned him. I saw my ESPN notification, and I was like, okay, some dude never heard of, caught with felony charges of
You probably
marijuana.
thought he was a practice squad or whatever.
Well, I didn't even know he played for the Vikings. I didn't know who he played for. I just saw Rock Thomas charged with marijuana felony charges, and I was like, it said NFL, so I was like, okay, some dude. But I didn't know he played for the Vikings, so that's pretty crazy.
It just sucks because with it being a felony amount and just knowing how the NFL is with marijuana, like, they don't play with that shit, which is fucking local law enforcement pays less attention to marijuana than the fucking NFL.
Yeah, and on top of that, he's like a third string, so I mean, that motherfucker is gonna lose his job.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck about him. But you know what? Fucking have him be found with like 10 prescription bottles of painkillers, and I bet no one bats a fucking eye. But since it's marijuana, it's fucking escalated for no reason.
Yeah, it's definitely something that has been I've wrote a paper. It was like an assignment, and it kind of had to do with marijuana in the league, and I can't think of the dude's name, but he was a high school player who had seizures, and he took CBD. I know you've heard of that.
Yeah. I still have yet to try it. I want to though.
It's it's basically it's the hemp oil. It's hemp oil. Has like 0.06 THC in it, so it doesn't get you high at all. It's just meant for medical purposes, and he would take it for his seizures, and it really helped him calm down. And he got a scholarship for Auburn for football, and Auburn ended up calling him and was like, yo, sorry that this is happening, but you can't play for me, or you can't play for anyone, because the NCAA basically banned him from college football, so he couldn't play anywhere. So
the NCAA is worse than the NFL. Yeah,
dude, especially when some of these rules are fucking crazy. But so he ended up going the JUCO route because he couldn't play in the NCAA. So it's shitty because the dude was using it for medical purposes, and it wasn't even like legit weed. He wasn't smoking weed and getting him high. It was the hemp plant. So it's just kind of bullshit all around. But
they don't want us to be natural.
Fuck.
Here's the thing, though, is if we're being serious, the NFL pays more attention. Always serious. The NFL pays more attention to like failing a drug test because of weed than they do with performance-enhancing drugs. More than they do with domestic violence. Like, if you fail a drug test because of weed, boom, automatic suspension. Fucking, you beat your wife, and it's, you gotta look into it. And I get it, like, I mean, innocent until proven guilty, but like, people like, what's his name? Fucking Hardy. What's his name? Greg Hardy.
I have no fucking idea who that is.
Bro, these NFL players have done way worse shit. Ray Rice was like,
Ray
Rice was like the pedestal of NFL finally cracking down on domestic violence.
For sure.
When she hit him first, slapping the shit out of him, gave her one uppercut, knocked her out, and now he's a fucking, like, he's the devil.
Yeah.
But he's kicked off. But then, like, there's like other players that just beat their wife, and it's no big deal. They might get traded or they might get released, but they're picked up immediately.
Yeah. I mean, Kareem Hunt, he got picked up from the Browns, Cleveland Browns.
Rightfully so, because Kareem Hunt did nothing fucking wrong.
Yeah, I think his was taken out proportional a little bit.
From what I've heard, is him and his friends brought girls back to the hotel room.
Yep.
After they found out they weren't of drinking age, he kicked them out.
Okay.
If anything, that's him being responsible, right?
Yeah. I mean,
he's not trying to get put in no situation where he's breaking the law, giving alcohol to minors. Exactly.
Yep.
Kicks her out. She calls him the N-word outside of his hotel room.
Yeah, I mean,
It pisses him off, right? He's got friends holding him back. All he fucking did was, like, so he pushed his buddy into her and she fell down. Literally all he did, it wasn't even like a kick, like it says he kicked her, but really he just kind of gave her, like, he put his foot on like her shoulder and just pushed her down.
Well,
like, it wasn't like she was laying flat on the ground and just kicked her right in the face, you know, like a kicker. It was literally just like a little boop. Like, she got no injuries, nothing.
Well, then you gotta remember too, like, I mean, some of these guys, I don't know about Kareem Hunt personally and like where he came from and all that, but like a lot of these guys in the NFL or NBA or really anything, they came from areas in the hood where, I mean, they saw this shit every day. You know, like they saw, you know, domestic violence happen, they saw crimes happen just in general. So like, I mean, you know, it's like this shit ain't, I don't want to say normal, but like, I mean, the fucking dude, you ticked his ass off. Like, of course he's gonna do some shit. I mean,
exactly.
If I was in his shoes and like some crazy girl said that to me after me kicking him out, I mean, like, I'm not saying I'd do all that, but like I'd be pissed off too. So like, it's understandable.
It's not like it was out of nowhere and he was just angry for no reason.
Yeah, like it's not like
he had a bad day at practice where he fumbled it twice, came back to his girlfriend's house and beat the shit out of her.
And he was like, tuna casserole, and started swinging, bro. Like, exactly. Like,
shit's overcooked. Yeah. Like, it's not like he's just fucking taking his day out on some random chick. It was just like, bro, she started it, and if you're gonna fucking swing on someone, or if you're gonna call them racial slurs, I don't know, like, yeah, free speech is free speech, but that doesn't mean that they're not gonna whoop your ass for it.
Oh, for sure.
Like, think with your fucking head.
Domestic violence. Yeah.
And that's not to take away from like actual domestic violence. There's fucking dudes out there just beating their wives for no reason because they regret their past or some shit.
This podcast is that we do not condone domestic violence and we don't think it's fine, but we're just saying that there are some cases out there where it's not justifiable, but there's good reasoning behind why that person may have done that.
Basically, see both sides.
Yeah,
question everything and see both sides.
Have an open mind. You know, there's no, you know, it's easy to blame someone when you don't know the full story.
Especially being an NFL player.
Yeah.
You have so many eyes on you at all times.
Oh, yeah.
You make a mistake and that could be it.
Yeah.
Like,
that's just like what happened to my roommate.
Tell that story. That's a funny story.
All right. I'll tell the story. I'll keep his name out of it, though, just for his, for his privacy. But as you guys know, I have said on my JaeS solo podcast, which you should check those motherfucking things out. They're pretty cool. It's just me on there, and I talk for about 10 minutes each podcast, and it's just about things that are going on. But anyway, not trying to sponsor that too much. I've talked about how I play at Minnesota State and play football there, and that's kind of why that podcast have been slacking a little bit recently. But my roommate, who also plays on the football team, we went out drinking one night at the bars downtown in Mankato, Minnesota, and I get back home with one of my other buddies, and there's cop cars at our house, and we're like, what the fuck? And my roommate got arrested, and he basically got arrested for what would the thing be called? What?
Indecency exposure.
Yeah,
or whatever?
indecent exposure. That's what he got arrested for. And the cops almost arrested me and my buddy because we were asking questions. They're like, why the fuck are you taking him in? Blah, blah, blah. You don't even have proof. You're just taking some girl's word. Basically, this girl called the cops and said that he pulled out his dick and was swinging it around and blah, blah, blah. And indecent exposure right there. Boom.
Just a swing.
Yeah, and just fucking whipping that shit around, doing the helicopter dick. But anyway, you know, obviously I know my roommate very well. He's a good guy. And my other roommate, who I won't say, he was with the roommate who was accused of doing that, and he said that didn't happen, which I believe them. And what's crazy is that after he got arrested and went to jail for a couple days, the media got a hold of it, and they even made the story worse. They said that he knocked on the girl's door. As soon as she answered it, his pants were around his ankles with his dick just fucking right there, which is not the case. But my point is of the story is he got accused of some shit he didn't do. There's no proof. It was literally his word over hers. And my roommate's friend was there, who was also my roommate, but he was there and he said that didn't happen, but he got charged with anyway. And it totally fucked him over because he's getting looks from NFL teams right now to play in the NFL, and every single team has asked him, so what happened, why did you get arrested? And it's just been a bad name. And if you look up his name now, it's like the first thing that pops up on Google is his arrest. And it's just super shitty that he got put in that situation for something he didn't do. And I mean, the way the justice system should work is that whenever that shit happens where someone gets falsely accused of something, the person that accused him of that should get just as bad as punishment as what he got. So she should go to jail for a couple days and face that shit, because it's just fucked up that she did that. But yeah. So, but I mean, it's just that the point of that is this: you gotta look both sides of the story. You don't fucking know the truth until, you know, you get both sides. You can't just pick a side, you know, or listen to whatever the media says. And I think that's the big thing to take away, is that even though the media says it could be wrong, because what the media told from my roommate is 100% not even close to whatever the fuck he did. So you can't trust him, you know. But fuck it.
Like I say, question everything, see both sides. In this world, you have to understand a few things. Okay. The media doesn't give a fuck about you.
No, they do not.
The news doesn't give a fuck about you.
Nope.
The internet doesn't give a fuck about you.
Nope.
Court system doesn't give a fuck about you.
Nope. Nope isn't yes. They don't give a fuck about you.
They really don't. But that's the world we live in.
It is.
Adjust, get used to it, and be smarter. Because wasn't at the beginning of that story, wasn't there an altercation, like, at the beginning between the two?
Between the girl and him?
Yeah.
Yeah, she came out of the house because my roommate was being loud. He was out in the late neighborhood doing his thing, just kind of being drunk, being obnoxious. And she was like, hey, calm the fuck down. Quit being so fucking loud or I'm going to call the cops. And verbatim, what my fucking roommate said was, go ahead, call the fucking cops. Because he didn't give a fuck, because he wasn't really breaking too many laws. I mean, you could say being loud, but I mean, that's about it.
That's totally different than exposing your dick to
exactly.
a girl.
And she went inside, she said back to him, bet. That's what Zach says verbatim. She said,
of course
bet,
she said that.
Closed the door, called the cops, and I guarantee you she's made some shit up. And of course, Mankato cops, being the fucking dickheads they are, they didn't question nothing. They just went off it. And that's not the first time I've heard bad shit about Mankato cops. I've heard they have zero patience, and they're kind of assholes.
Shit, could you imagine dealing with college kids 24/7?
Yeah, I get it.
No patience too.
They're dealing with, I mean, Mankato.
You're dealing with literally the dumbest people.
Minnesota State is known for their
world.
fucking fuckery, but like, jeez, man, like, damn, fuck, shit, bitch, Young Shaq. No,
was it a white woman?
it was.
You always hear about it. It's just white girls lying about that shit.
Yep. Gotta love them white girls.
God damn.
Oh yeah. I'm so excited we're doing this podcast again.